Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud, and this is the Champs versus Stars 2, Episode 2, Over the Edge and Under the Bus. We pick up right where we left off, where Salida stormed out because, Kayla is just so off-putting. Kayla really is. I want her to do good against, Cara Maria and Camilla, those types. But now that they're not here and Kayla is in sort of a veteran position, it doesn't make her any more classier than she was, which she was not at all, And that's why I love Salida's ooh, profanity, that's your go-to thing. That's the only way to stand out and shit. You couldn't come at me with some real shit. Instead, you had to say the word shit. No, what'd she say? I don't know who the fuck you are. Zero tact. Either way, Salida, she left the room. Brooke Hogan, she's like, you are acting all Jerry Springer up in this bitch. That's right. I said it. And she goes after Salida to comfort her. And then she also says, oh, Kayla, she's a paper tiger. And I was like, oh, who the fuck says paper tiger? That's awesome. Spoilers, I really like this episode. In fact, I think this season's going to be great. Mostly because of the, mixing of the teams bullshit. Now it's definitely fucking it can be back and forth. And this is proof, this episode. Previous episode, the blue team won. And now this episode, the red team won. This is the sort of stuff that you want. Let's see here. Hennessy works out with a glass of red wine. Oh my God, yes. All the stars, basically, they're all working out. And, Hennessy is... this is just the tip of the iceberg. Her trying to work out with gummy worms and chocolate and a glass of red wine and stuff. And I'm like, well, you don't actually show her working out at all. So I think she's just there to be like a goddamn human cartoon. That is how I would describe her. She is so hilarious, but then over the top where I'm like, oh, okay, let's simmer down now, I thought Tori was animated. You know what I mean? And then I think of Ashley Mitchell, how over the top she can be. But Hennessy takes the cake. She is bouncing off the walls, even outside where there are no walls, just water, and you're on pucks and shit. But anyways, yeah, that's just crazy from the very beginning. The stars then, they're like, okay, let's fucking get serious now. Let's talk numbers. And basically, the champs are coming for our asses, so we have to get organized. And I believe someone, I don't remember who, but they're just like, hey, Hennessy, you're going to be the target, and you're probably going to go in and shit like that. And Hennessy, right away, she's like, oh, save this for later, explode about this later. And, she makes that huge scene at that very public restaurant later on. But couldn't she have done that in this gym, this little workout area that they're at? But no. Hennessy's a pro, or at least related to a pro, and she's gonna fucking unleash her Hennessy, pop the fucking top, and go all crazy and Hennessy all over their asses, blue team, later on. But let's get back to this chronologically. Booby and Cam and Wes talk blue team strategy. And right away, I remember watching this. I'm like, no, Cam, don't fall for his fucking charm. Even though, Wes is like, hey, man, if you don't fucking fall for her, you gotta get your pulse checked, man. He's so fucking charming and awesome and shit. And, yeah, even the fucking name Booby. Are you kidding me? I think what it is Booby is just a universal beloved thing. Who the fuck doesn't like tits? Let me ask you that. Yeah, that's what I thought. I just won an argument with myself. But yeah, anyways, Cam and Booby are fucking vibing. And, my heart was slightly breaking right then and there. I was like, God damn it. No, because I really fucking like Cam. Still do. But yeah, that shit's going on. But then we get to the actual mission of the episode, Over the Edge. It's a female elimination week. I'm just going to talk about this way. I'm going to present it this way, where I'm just going to discuss Team Blue and then Team Red and what they did in summation of like what they did in terms of points, you know? First, I will say this, you know, for you hardcore challenge fans, you know who you are, man, you know who you are. You would look at this and say, this is basically the ice block challenge from Duel 2. Do you remember that? Where the guys shoved the females on giant blocks of ice in an ice rink, and it was basically the same fucking thing. Like, you couldn't fall over the edge. This is a new little wrinkle to the game. But the problem I had with that mission in that season of Duel 2 is that the women basically weren't able to do anything. Like, sure, you could try and shift the puck or the ice block in that point to try and hit someone, but you only have like that little fraction of a second to do anything. Really, it came down to the pushers. What do you call it? The shovers. No, fuck. Whoever pushed the ice chunk. What do you call that? I'm not a curler. Is it curling? I don't know. No, that would be a different fucking experience if like people were trying to like sweep the floor. Well, you ever watch curling? It's a ridiculous sport. But anyways, that never let the women do anything. This is totally different though, because we're actually going to have 3 rounds. It's first to 21 points overall. So sometimes the women will be the pucks, but then the next round, the guy can be the puck. You know, everyone gets to be the puck. And that is a huge improvement from a season that came back in fucking, goddamn, 2007? Maybe? 2008? I'm not really sure. But they finally rectified it today. Let's see here. Let's get into blue. Casper, overall, he gets 2 points. I think he pushes Wes as a puck. And he also gets a KO. He pushes Wes so hard that he knocks some other opponent off. And that's pretty sweet. Wes, he ends up getting 3 points. I believe he uses Casper as a puck. Louise gets 0. Tori gets 0. Tony gets 2 points. And he also fucking DQs, man. He had his hand there. They had to go to instant replay. Jose was like, hey, he fucking cheated. And bravo to fucking Jose, you know, because sometimes if you don't speak up about this cheating bullshit, holy fuck will the producers look the other way. You know what I mean? It's a big fucking strain on them to go to instant replay, I'm sure. They're like, God damn it. So if you want anything done in this world, you got to speak up and you got to fight for what's right. But Tony also replied with this. He's like, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Which I loved. And I'm like, where did I hear that from? Was that a movie or is that just a universal saying that assholes say? I don't know. Booby, he gets 3, and I believe he causes another 3 points. He knocks some other, one of his teammates' pucks further, getting another 3 additional points. So that's fucking great for Booby. I want to hug him and squeeze him all night long. Anissa gets 0. Cam gets 0. Drake does really good. He gets 4, I believe. And then he also gets 3 later on. He also gets a knockdown. I believe he pushes Hennessy so hard that Hennessy pushes someone else down. He gets that KO. Knock over. Hennessy, she gets a 0, so why bother mentioning it? But oh shit, she also DQs. She is so wacky, god damn it. Where, you know, the time when it comes when Miz is like, all right, well, if we go to instant replay and turns out you were a liar, then you're going in. And she's like, okay, I did it. And she just runs back to the beach. It was kind of funny. And she's like, oh, my hair costs like $200 and shit. So that was all of blue team. Let's get on to red team. Starting with Devin. Devin gets 2 points and another 2 points. That's solid work. He works with Kayla. He also works with other people too. I think Devin went quite a bit throughout this thing. Going to Kayla, I think she's almost always the puck. Oh, Kayla, you just ruined my whole fucking opening thing about it's finally fair that the women are just always the puck, and yet you are. Jose, he gets 2 and a 3. Yeah, he knocks, he pushes it so hard, his puck, that it knocks the other puck to a 3. Brooke is fucking awesome. Oh shit! And then Jose, he gets another 3 later on. So Jose really did fucking good, and he was also great for calling out Tony like he did. But Brooke, she gets a KO. She like KO, knock over. I believe that's why I wrote KO. But pushes Jose so hard that knocks some opponents down and shit. Brooke is fucking awesome. She wins me over this episode. But more into that later. Let's see here. Shane. He gets a 0 at first. He's pushing CT. I believe it was mostly defense where you just put the puck right in the front to kind of block from trying to knock the other 2 down and shit. And like, holy fuck, what a great, brilliant plan. Because CT is that heavy. You know, like he's like I think he's the biggest fucking guy there. And a quick little side note, I fucking love shuffleboard. When you're drunk and it's a fucking weekend, hopefully it's a weekend. If you're fucking drunk on a weekday, that's fine. But the older you get, you realize it's fucking ridiculous. But when I go to the bar and I'm drunk and I'm like, shuffleboard, that is a brilliant thing we can do with ourselves. This in this moment in time, we can do anything we want. But shuffleboard has always been there for me. You know, the more I think about it, I'm like, well, fucking, you're drunk, Vince. Everything sounds just fucking great. Unprotected sex? Fuck yeah. And I get it with the same zeal. I would probably say, like, yes, that is a great idea. Let's do that with our lives. If they only allowed you to have action figures on the pucks in those bars, that would be great. A little some He-Man action, man. G.I. Joes. Whew. All right, where are we? I am so lost here. Oh, okay. So CT, he got a knocked over. He pushed Shane so hard. He also got a 2. Ashley, she got a 3 and a 5. I think she hit Lil Mama on the edge, and that's where Lil Mama had to do like fucking core strength to keep herself from not falling over. And by not falling over, that's 5 points. Lil Mama, she gets 0, but when she does go, she pushes Salida into the water. And when Salida emerges, wow. I definitely want to follow Salida now. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, is she one of those Instagram models? Like, how legit is she? You know, I'm sure she's legit, but I'm like, well, if I could follow her on Instagram. But I don't even have that. Do you have to have it to follow? Or can you just go to the website? All casual like. So Salida, she goes and she gets 2 points. I think she pushes Lil Mama, I think. But yeah, there you go. Overall, red team wins 21-13. So going to the I think it's back at the house now, where the red team are like popping champagne, or not yet though anyways. Yeah, CT grabs a bottle of whatever. It might have been champagne, makes sense. But he's like, hey man, to the red team's first win. But Lil Mama and Salida aren't here. So right away, they turn this into an MVP discussion. And immediately it's given to Ashley Mitchell, you know, and Brooke tries to bring it up like, hey, this isn't right. Like, what the fuck? And yeah, now Ashley's nominated. Lil Mama and Salida show up later on, and they're like, oh, well, you weren't here, and it's already happened, and there you go, and stuff like that. Meanwhile, on the blue team, they're talking LVP at this restaurant. It could have been the restaurant of the hotel, the Jamaican Inn, or what's it called? Jamaican Bay Inn, I think. Yeah. Jamaican Me Crazy Inn. Yeah. Oh my god, get it all out of your system. Hennessy acts crazy and nominates herself, I write? ? Oh yeah, because she didn't really. She did and she didn't. I think they started to talk about like, okay, we want to talk about who's going in. And I think Hennessy just says, oh, I know you guys are going to put me in, so why don't I just put myself in? You guys can't do this shit to me and shit. And it's funny, yet it's over the top because I'm like, okay, you really aren't listening to what they have to say. Her own team that are not champs, that are stars, that are looking for their best interest and for her best, you know, it's the same thing. They want numbers, and they're trying to just like calmly say, hey, Hennessy, just hold on. I know you're Looney Tune, but just what does Casper say? Oh, he says, "No, not you guys, they guys." Casper is fucking awesome. I've said this before, but I'm like, oh my god, like I didn't think I would like the dude who I was so kind of annoyed at back in the day for dating J-Lo when he did, you know. Now I don't fucking care. She's not the same. But let's get back on subject, man. But yeah, and then Louise is like, please sit down, honey. Like, you got to listen and shit. Like, she's just trying to be like all prim and proper and like, Hennessy, you're being an ass. But she doesn't even say ass. She would probably have said arse, right? Don't they say arse? You're being an arse. No, that doesn't sound right either. But I think they said, okay, whatever. Anyways, no one is able to get through to Hennessy. She just bounces and fucking cartwheels out of that place in the very public restaurant. Very nice looking restaurant, by the way. But it was just, it sucked. I think even Booby tried to be like, hey, we never said that. And if you could just calm down, we want to say, like, we're looking out for blah, 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 you know? But exactly, like, Hennessy would never fucking listen. She just, like, you know, she's like the Tasmanian devil, man. She just spun away into this mini tornado, this little dust devil shit going on. Let's see here. What do I have written down next? Booby, Louise, and Casper talk LVP, but like for real. You know, like that train wreck of a session at that very public restaurant. You know, that was not the real talk. The real talk is going to happen now, where basically Booby and Casper say, "Hey, Louise, you come up with the plan." You know what I mean? Like you figure this shit out. So Louise was like, all right, well, we're going to have to make a tie, you know? And right then and there, I was like, wait a minute. No, Wes, you and Wes have a thing. Like, you guys are going to work together and shit, right? But then, oh my God, lo and behold, let's see here. Let's get into the actual nominations where it's Red Team. They announced that it was Ashley Mitchell and, you know, everyone else is like, hey, we weren't even around. Or, you know, the people that weren't around, Lil Mama and Salida, they were like, hey, we weren't there, but, you know, it's corrupt. It's a corrupt system or whatever. So Ashley Mitchell, as an MVP, gets to choose the LVP from her team and puts in Brooke Hogan. And then the power play that she gets to use is she gets to bench someone from her own team next mission, I believe. No, it's not. It's anyone, right? Is that what it was? And then automatic $500, something like that. Blue Team LVP talk. This is where shit happens. You know, the typical nominee was Hennessy from the Champs. But then all the stars are like, hey, we're going for Cam. Even fucking Booby votes in Cam. And I gotta say, like, when this was happening, I was like, oh my God, like, if I were to be on the show, which I would never do, I don't think I would enjoy. I wouldn't enjoy that environment at all. I wouldn't be able to thrive in it whatsoever. But if I were to somehow be convinced to sign up, and the fucking producers are convinced to sign me, they're like, hey, listen, he's got a podcast. He's been doing it for 3 years with very minimal views. So let's get that guy. You know what I mean? I would show up and I would be on the Stars team, you know? I would never go on an actual season at all. Like I wouldn't do like a Vendettas or a Dirty 30. You know, I wouldn't do that. I'm like, that is way too long to live in a place like that. I'd rather stay in a hotel, thank you very much, in California somewhere. LA, perhaps. Anyways, I would be on that Star team and then I would be there. And let's say maybe I am Booby. I just happen to like get close with Cam. That would totally fucking happen. Oh my God, I love Cam so much. And say her and I were vibing. And then they were like, hey, listen, this place, this team is a bunch of nonsense, Vince. The Champs hate you. I'm like, even Wes? They're like, yes, especially Wes. I'm like, God damn it. All right, fine. Then I would have to fucking do this. Go on my word and vote in Cam. And that would be so fucking hard. Like, I wouldn't be hard at that moment. Did I say that? No. Why bring it up? But that would be very fucking hard to still vote in Cam because she is a cutie. And She not only that, but she's totally fucking into you. That's the thing. That would be the hardest part. But Booby was like, hey man, when I started this thing, I wasn't very serious about it. I was just like, hey man, there's gonna be some fun stuff to do for some charity and stuff. But now the inner workings, what the challenge is really about, is starting to sink in. And you know what? As hard as it would be, even for myself, this was the right decision to vote in Cam. And so this was a tiebreaker between Hennessy and Cam. The tiebreaker is who gets to cast the final vote, fucking Mike Pence style. I don't know if you guys pay attention to politics or anything like that, but he does it a lot, that Mike Pence, our vice president. But it's Casper. Casper is the vice president to that god-awful Trump. No, in this scenario, who would be Trump? Is it Hennessy? No, not Hennessy. Louise is Trump? I don't know. And that would make Wes Putin. Oh my God. Revelations everywhere. Anyways, Jesus Christ, I am so sorry, guys. I tend to babble a lot, especially when I'm by myself. Holy shit. I babble on anyways when I have a partner, but I'm fucking solo these days. Casper, since he won the previous elimination, gets to decide the tie-breaking vote. And he puts in Cam like he should. You know, fucking Casper was the first guy in episode 1 to say, like, hey man, this is not right. The champs, even on our own team, are coming after us. So now everything is validated. Casper is proven right, and he's able to use that finally to volley attack back to the champs. And Cam's gonna go in. And Cam's like, oh, it's fine, man. This isn't my first elimination. And I'm like, holy shit, it's not. She fucking... The previous season, Vendettas, she beat Tori, she beat Ashley Mitchell, and she beat Natalie. That was astounding. Like, she had such a stellar season. So, let's get into Ashley Mitchell. She gets to bench someone for the next mission. And she benches Wes. Wes cannot participate on the blue team, her opposing team, but he will get $500 to his charity, no matter what. How is this a punishment necessarily? Like, I get it. You want to make shit fun and throw in the charity. I don't get that at all. But she picks Wes, and she says he gets $500, but will not make him pass me in the overall leaderboard. Now, I need to know more information about this leaderboard, and I need to know where the rankings lie. This is kind of driving me nuts the more time they bring up the leaderboard in this episode, but don't actually show it. I don't even know who is what. But anyways, benches Wes. So that kind of sucks. Next episode is going to be a male week, which means Wes cannot fight for MVP. Does that mean he's also safe from LVP as well? Whoa, that's something to fucking know, right? Anyways, let's get into the elimination of the night or the day for night. We don't know. This could be happening at like fucking 2 in the afternoon. But it's indoors, and that's the fucking point. This is great. I love the indoor thing. I love the entrances that they do where they pre-recorded entrances. They're like, hey man, could you come up here and like let your hair down, Brooke? There you go. And like give us a sexy look and shit. And then she's like, yeah, sure. But then when she shows up for elimination, her hair is up. I'm like, whoa, that's jarring. But whatever. I still appreciate the entrances. So elimination is going to be called Rock and Roll. Kind of cool. It's on wheels. It's like this big blocky thing that you got to use. And the fact that it's Brooke versus Cam is fantastic. Like right before this is about to go down, I'm like, God damn it. Cam is 3-0 in elimination, and they were not fucking pushovers. Fucking Tori. I mean, she's on the season now. Tori, is as crazy and ludicrous as she can act. She's also very talented, especially in the elimination department. She beat Tori. She fucking beat Ashley Mitchell, who was a champ, a legit champ. And she beat Natalie, who was like a rookie of the year that season. It was between her and Cam, and I think Cam won rookie of the year because she did beat Natalie in that elimination. And then going against Brooke Hogan. Brooke Hogan, I've heard of her. I've known of her a little bit just because I know Hulk Hogan. You know, like I'm a dude who grew up, and I remember in the 80s as a small child, like Hulk Hogan was like the shit, you know, like fuck yeah, he was the shit. And I was even there when he turned heel, when he turned into Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like bad now and stuff. But it was perfectly fine. Like, it was fucking nuts. So I lived through all that, even the Gawker lawsuit. But I knew I knew that he had a show, Hogan Knows Best. Was that on MTV or VH1? Makes more sense if it was on MTV, but yeah, I remember hearing about that, and I knew that he had some pretty hot daughters and shit, and that must have been Brooke the whole time. I never really looked into it, but Brooke is there, and Cam was like, hey, your daddy's a wrestler, but that doesn't say anything about you. Let's see what the fuck goes on. And round one starts, and, you know, they're trying to pull and push and prod themselves to pull the boulder across their own boundary line. And Cam thought she did it in round one. She thought she did it, and she let it go, looks at, I was going to say TJ, looks at the Miz and like, yeah, okay, blow that horn. And Miz is like, you didn't go across the line completely. Like, you are over the line, but not completely. Like, there's still a little corner that Brooke is currently gripping, and then pulls back and then gets the point. Brooke wins round one because it's a classic mistake. Not a Cam classic mistake, but like, this shit happened. This happened in Vendettas with Derek versus Joss Whedon. No, what was his name? Was it Joss? Could have been Joss. But yeah, where they're like, oh, I thought we were done. And even Ashley Mitchell, she looks over to like Lil Mama, I believe, and she's like, yeah, this fucking happens all the time. You gotta make, you know, you fucking stop pulling till that horn is a hollering. You know what I mean? Something like that. I don't know what she said. But getting on to round two, it's pretty clear cut that she is able to pull Cam to her side. Fucking, you know, who said it? I think it was Salida. She was like, Brooke has fucking that ass and thighs. Like, she's, I'm a fan as well. But she says she's going to put it all, the power there. And she's going to squat and get low. And that's exactly what Brooke did. Cam was kind of just standing there. But even, okay, so Brooke wins. But even with that aside of how Cam technically wasn't doing what she should have done, she should have listened to Wes and Tori. Tori was in a Hulk Hogan mustache the whole time. Did I mention that? That was so funny. That was so weird when she like came down and hugged Brooke. I'm like, you guys, you know, like, I don't know if Brooke thinks that's too, you know, that funny. That's a little weird. But it's so easy to forget that Tori did that because we have fucking Hennessy on this show. You know what I mean? Hennessy is this season's, or last season's, what am I saying? What's his name? Fuck, I can't remember anymore. Riff Raff. Remember how off the wall Riff Raff was on Champs vs. Stars 1? Champs vs. Stars 2, there's Hennessy. And Tori's trying to remain relevant and beautiful and awesome. This episode rocks the mustache. Anyways, Brooke beat Cam. I was completely shocked. Not shocked, I guess, but just, you know, I was rooting for Cam. I have nothing against Brooke, but I also wanted Brooke to win because I'm like, oh my god, she's royalty to the WrestleMania thing. Like, Brooke could totally become a wrestler if she wanted to. If fucking Charlotte is Ric Flair's daughter and holds the title the whole fucking time just because she's a goddamn legacy, Brooke could totally do that. So Brooke, just saying that out loud, just saying that, being able to watch that Brooke Hogan beat Cam in an elimination is crazy to see and crazy to admit. And Cam's gone, or is she? Oh yeah, this comes down to like, okay, well, remember, Miz says, he's like, every team gets to decide if they want to save one person this season and whatever. But it comes down to the numbers. I think even Booby says like, no, we're not gonna save her. You know, it's not gonna happen. Like, there's whatever. So Cam is gone. It's crazy. It sucks. Goodbye, Cam. I think you're back for the next season of the actual challenge, Final Reckoning. I fucking highly believe that you're there. I gotta do that podcast soon just to make it official. But yeah, goodbye, Cam. So after all that, we have a small little scene with Wes and Louise. They are both on Team Blue, and they were both in an alliance together. They are both friends outside of this thing, and they're sitting there with wine. And Wes is like, I gotta say, I'm not in the greatest mood. And Louise is like, oh, why? Like, I did what I had to do, and Wes says basically, okay, so you might be driving the bus, and I might be sitting there in the back, where I'm like, hey. Why do such an obvious joke about Rosa Parks? Why do that? We're at the very end. Louise says, okay, well, I did what I had to do. You, in fact, should be proud. And in a way, Wes is. And Wes does say, he's like, okay, listen, you're in control right now at this moment. And I might feel a little blindsided. But that doesn't mean I can't appreciate what you've done. I can't appreciate your art. And it was just this terrific little scene. And that was the end of the episode. Again, I say that I like this mini-series because the actual seasons are way too long. Not that it's bad to have 15 episodes a season compared to these 8 episodes. But they're all split in half, You'll have a mission on episode 1 on a regular season, and then the elimination on episode 2, and so on and so forth. It's totally wacky. I am not a big fan of how the seasons are run normally, but with these miniseries, I like it. It's just going back to the roots, man. But yeah, that was the end of the episode. I would say tune in, like, subscribe, comment. This was Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.